Welcome to the Explainer. You know, right now, as you're watching this, there's an invisible war being fought. And it's being fought over something you own, your data. So today, we're going to pull back that curtain and really dig into the fundamental principles of computer security that keep you safe online.
Okay, so let's just get right into it. Think about your day so far. Every single email you send, that purchase you made, every photo you scrolled past, all of that is data, and all of it is a potential target. So the big question is, what's actually standing guard? How is all of that stuff defended?
Well, to understand the defense, first we have to look at the fortress itself. You see, computer security isn't just a single wall. No, it's a whole defensive system designed to protect our digital lives. And it's built on three absolutely critical pillars.
And here they are. These three pillars are the bedrock of all security. You've got confidentiality, which is all about keeping secrets, making sure no one else can read your private messages. Then there's integrity, which is making sure your data isn't changed, so that a bank transfer for $100 doesn't suddenly become 10,000. And finally, availability, which just means you can get to your data when you need it. Think about a hospital needing to access patient records in an emergency. If any one of these three fails, the entire fortress just crumbles.
So how do the experts actually build this fortress? Well, they don't just start laying bricks randomly. They use a framework, kind of like a strategic blueprint, and it helps organize the entire defense by asking three key questions. What are the attacks we're facing? What services do we need to stop them? And what specific tools are going to get the job done?
So let's start where any good defender would, by studying the enemy, right? To build a solid defense, you absolutely have to understand the attacker's playbook first. And what's really interesting here is how all the threats get split into two main categories. You've got your passive attacks. Think of it as the digital version of someone just listening in on your conversation. And then you've got active attacks, where the attacker actually jumps in, maybe changing your messages, or even pretending to be you. So one is all about spying, and the other is pure sabotage.
So a passive attacker might just read your message. Simple enough. But the other one, traffic analysis, that's way more subtle. See, even if your messages are scrambled and unreadable, an attacker can still see who you're talking to and when and how often. They might not know what you said, but they can see you called a doctor, then a specialist, then your insurance company. That pattern alone tells a powerful story. Active attacks, on the other hand, are just so much more aggressive. An attacker might masquerade as your bank to trick you into giving up your password. Or they could do a replay attack, capturing an old login of yours and just reusing it. They could directly modify an email to change an order you made. Or even launch a denial of service attack. That's when they flood a website with so much junk traffic that it completely shuts down for everyone. Okay, so with this whole playbook of threats in mind, how do we actually design our defense? We don't just build one big wall. Instead, we deploy a whole range of specialized services, and each one is designed to counter a very specific type of attack.
Think of each security service like a member of a specialized team. You don't just have generic guards, right? You've got a guard at the front gate, checking IDs, another one monitoring the security cameras, and another patrolling the perimeter. Each service has one specific job to do, all as part of the master security plan.
In this slide, this lays out the strategy perfectly. You can see this direct line between the attack and the defense. If the attack is someone trying to read your private message, the service you need is confidentiality. If they try to change that message, you counter with integrity. If they're trying to pretend to be someone else, you demand authenticity. It's just this beautiful, logical system of action and reaction. Now, the single most powerful tool we have to make a lot of these services actually work is something ancient, really elegant, and deeply mathematical: the art and science of cryptography. The word itself literally means hidden writing, and that's really the core idea. It's the science of taking perfectly normal information and just transforming it into something that looks like complete nonsense to anybody on the outside. This transformation is the engine that powers pretty much all of modern security. So, the process always starts with something called plain text, and that's just the technical term for your message in its original readable form. It could be an email, your password, anything. And that plain text then gets transformed into ciphertext, which is just a scrambled, seemingly random mess of characters. The whole point is that to anyone snooping around, it should look like complete and utter gibberish. And right here, you can see the whole cycle. Plain text goes into an encryption algorithm. Then, using a secret key, it gets scrambled into ciphertext.
That gobbledygook can then travel safely across the internet. And on the other side, only someone with the matching key can use the decryption algorithm to turn it right back into the original plaintext.
And, this is not a new idea. Not at all. Humans have been hiding messages for thousands of years, from ancient scribes using weird hieroglyphs to Julius Caesar just shifting letters in the alphabet, all the way to those complex mechanical cipher machines in World War II, and of course, the groundbreaking digital systems we rely on today.
And this brings us to a really crucial, almost counterintuitive point. Modern security does not rely on hiding the encryption method. In fact, the strongest algorithms out there are public knowledge. They've been poked and prodded by experts for years. The entire strength of the system, all of that security, it all rests on one single thing: keeping the key a secret.
Now, this all sounds incredibly secure, right? But if we have this powerful science of making codes, well, it's only natural that an equally powerful science of breaking them would show up too.
And that field is called cryptanalysis. You see, for every single person working to build a stronger lock, there's someone else out there figuring out how to pick it. It is the art and science of breaking codes, of turning that ciphertext back into plain text without having the secret key. And what this creates is a constant, high-stakes arms race. As our computers get faster, code breakers get more powerful tools. And so, in response, the code makers have to invent even stronger encryption. This back and forth is happening all the time, right now, and the security of our entire digital world depends on the code makers still just one step ahead. Which, of course, leaves us with one final lingering question. In this perpetual tug-of-war between the code makers and the code breakers, is a truly unbreakable system even possible, or is the safety of our most vital information just destined to always hang in the balance?